thank you for joining me for That's the Way It Is. I'm your host, BC. I'm going to talk about something, people think that if they do something, somebody else won't find out. Well, let me give you an example. A few years ago, me and 3 other guys, we all had walkie-talkies. And when we got off work, we all went down this one road, and we was all behind each other, and we all talked on walkie-talkies, and man, we talked a lot of stuff. I mean, some of the things we talked about, it would be, they could put it on, if they just recorded it, people would just laugh at some of the things that was going on, and if nobody else laughs, we would. But anyway, so we've done this for a long time. I mean, we've done this for probably over a year. Every night we're all going down the road and we're all talking on these walkie-talkies. Well, one day all 4 of us is there, and this lady comes up, that worked for us, and she said, "Yeah, y'all think y'all slick, don't you?" Like, Miss Angie, what are you talking about? Excuse me. She's like, "Yeah, y'all think that when y'all going down this one road that you guys, y'all, nobody can hear y'all because y'all on a certain frequency. But y'all forget, I got a walkie-talkie and I live off that road and I hear y'all every night." Now that was funny. Because here we think, that we're getting away with something when actually what someone was listening every night. Now, of course, she thought it was funny and everything, we all had a good laugh. But that's an example of, you could be anywhere and you do something, someone's going to know it. Excuse me. And if no one knows it, God knows it. And the thing with God knowing it, you know that if you are truthful to your heart, and you are repentantly sorry, that He will forgive you. Basically, as people too, if we're following God's example. But the thing of it is that regardless, you shouldn't be doing something you don't want other people to find out. There's so many stories that really I could go into with this, but every one of them going to point to the same thing. You can't do nothing and not know, and no one know, that no one would know. You could be in a room and you do something and someone's going to find out. You may be asleep and you may talk in your sleep. Excuse me. You may I don't know, maybe you drink, and maybe you're one of those people that drink and you talk a lot. I mean, and maybe you're on your deathbed, and someone's you're going to tell someone because you're truly sorry. Bottom line is, if it's something that is hurtful to someone, if it's something that you really don't want other people finding out, don't do it. Bottom line. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. And if you're going to be ashamed of it, definitely don't do it. I have a motto: don't ever do anything you're going to be ashamed of. And that's the truth. If you don't want everybody finding out, don't do it. Because chances are, sometimes, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, and it may not be next year. But someone's going to find out. It's not even sad to say, because you shouldn't be doing anything that you shouldn't do anyway. I mean, bottom line. But just thought I'd share that story with you. It came to mind. Excuse me, and and I really thought it was interesting because no matter what I've done in my life, I mean, how many of you, your mama told you not to leave the yard, and you're on the side of the house where there is no windows, or she can't see you, and you go to step out of the yard, and she's like, "Get back in the yard." Like mama got eyes in the back of her head. Like I said, if you think no one knows, rest assured someone either knows or they're going to know. So, bottom line is, don't do anything you shouldn't do. Just another story. My parents, they loved RCs. The old, tall RC glass bottles. Man, they loved them things like you would not believe. They drank them like people with water. But what they done, they had a room under the, well, utility room under the carport. And they locked them in there. They had a lock on the door and everything. Well, I would get a butter knife, and I learned that if I took a butter knife and stuck it in there and wiggled it just right, the door would angle a little bit, and it would come right open. Well, I used to go in there, and I used to get me and my brothers and sisters, you know, some RCs. We'd put them in the freezer, we'd get them nice and cold, and we'd sit back and drink while my parents were at work. Done that for a long time. Thought I was so slick. Of course, I was a kid. Thought I was so slick that they wouldn't find this out. Well, quite a few years later, you know, my mom and, you know, my siblings are sitting around. I think it was like Thanksgiving or something. It may have been her birthday or something like that. And they're all telling stories about, you know, when they were kids. And guess what they talked about? They talked about that. So my mom picks up the phone and she calls me and she says, you know, me and your daddy thought for a long time we were drinking up the RCs faster than what we thought. She said, it's good to know that we wasn't, that you guys were enjoying yourselves drinking them RCs. I was like, what are you talking about? She said, you used to steal RCs. And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I do remember, too. And when she said the utility room, I'm like, yeah, I remember. So even though you may forget, everybody else, that don't mean everybody else is going to forget. You know, I would like to, and I just thought I'll share that story too. But I would like to thank you for joining me. You have a wonderful day. And just remember, don't do anything that you're going to be ashamed of, because bottom line, sometimes somebody's going to find out. Thank you for joining me.